राजकुमार जी, आपका बहुत 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 धन्यवाद कि आपने अपने बिजी शेड्यूल से हम लोगों को, मर्चेंट चेंबर को अपना समय देके नवाजा है। आपने स्पॉन्सरशिप भी दी है, तो उसके लिए भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इस कोविड में हम लोगों को बूंद बूंद सागर बनता है, हर बूंद अभी हम लोग को जरूरी है। LIC के बारे में कुछ भी कहना सूरज को दिया को दिखाने के बराबर है। ये और ये राजकुमार जी भी मुझे लगता है कि अपने आप को गौरवान्वित और प्राउड एंड वो होगा कि इतने बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ये हेड कर रहे हैं। मेरा पर्सनली राजकुमार जी के पहले कई MDs के साथ ओवर द इयर्स काम पड़ा है। कई दिग्गजों ने राजकुमार जी जैसे कई दिग्गज लोग वहां पर विराजमान रहे हैं। LIC हम लोगों के लिए एक भरोसा, ट्रस्ट और कई शब्दों को दर्शाता है। LIC का मतलब होता है हम लोगों को कि भाई एक बार LIC करा दिया तो आपने कम से कम अपने परिवार के, अपने जीवन की चिंता को निपटा दिया। बट कमिंग टू टुडेज मर्चेंट चेंबर कॉमर्स एंड Indian insurance industry with special focus on life insurance, which is what LIC does. Sir, LIC is also one of the largest investors in India because of the sheer corpus and size. So we would like to hear from you the investment philosophy of LIC, what it does and what, how much returns do you make, or what happens, because we are excited to know the business side of LIC also. So we know that you have 70% or 80% market share, maybe even more market share. But we would like to know, how are you preparing yourself for the post-COVID challenges and from the challenges being given by the new private insurance players?
Okay.
That is number two. Sir, I have been instructed to read out a few things, which I will do my duty. Mr. Rajkumar has varied experience, expertise, and valuable insights, and it would benefit all of us today. He joined the corporation as 1984. He has put in 36 years of dedicated service. Apart from being managing director, he also has many prestigious positions like chairman of the board of LIC, Care Home, LIC Bangladesh, trustee of Golden Jubilee Foundation, and he was recently conferred with the most influential human resource officer in Asia award. The challenges, all of us, instead of life, we prefer to pay our health insurance premium these days, because in COVID, health and health-related treatments have become much more important. But how would LIC be handling those challenges? That is one of the questions we brought. This digital transmission, I know for a sure myself, I am experienced that LIC has done wonders in the digital and online space. They have made some very easy tools, but going forward, how, if respected Rajkumarji could share what else is in the sphere, what else are you planning to do to make the life of policyholders more easier or more I must confess, I have used your online services and I use one of your apps. Actually, there are 3-4 apps, but by using one app, our work is done. So that is there. And sir, we would, a lot of members have a lot of questions. So if you permit, we would like to take some questions, but that is after you throw light on these points. And anything else that you think is important about our chamber, although you must have got our introductory note, but it's a 120-year-old chamber based primarily out of Eastern India. We have around 800 members, and our members represent trade, industry, commerce. I would like to introduce here Shri Subodh Agarwal ji. He is the chairman of our Council on Capital Markets and Insurance. Subodh ji, namaskar. And with these words, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Vivek ji. Vivek Gupta ji, President MCCI, other members and office bearers of the MCCI and dear participants. I thank you, MCCI, for giving me this opportunity to talk about the response of insurance sector and particularly Life Insurance Corporation of India to this emerging COVID-19 situation. I have a small PowerPoint presentation which I would like to share so that we can discuss those things in
Please,
detail.
sir. Please, sir. So you are able to do screen sharing?
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, I'm able to share that. So, friends, as you know, just 1 minute. Are you able to see the slideshow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now, friends, the first is a few statistics. Of course, I know that everybody is knowing about the statistics, but you know, after this outbreak of COVID-19, the situation is, it looks like it's going out of hand, but it's not like that, what I feel. And these statistics will confirm that as on 16th September 2020 morning, the worldwide there are 2.97 crores of totally infected persons. This includes the recovered also. Recovery is 2.15 crore and total active are 72.46 lakhs. In India, 50 lakh is the infection, total infections, but the active cases are 9.95 lakhs. So the deaths, if you look at, it is 9.39 lakhs worldwide, and India it is 82 thousands only. Now further, if we make the analysis, the death percentage is 3.159 in the world, while in India it is 1.635 of the total infections. If you look at the recovery rates, uh, it is 72.46% in the world, but in India it is 78.5 to 7%. That shows that India, in spite of its such a big size, is doing much better than the world at large in containment of the COVID situation. Now, the numbers will be totally different. The reason being, the India is having 130 crores of population. So, if you look at then the ranking, the infections, we are number 2. In the deaths, we are number 3, absolute numbers. In active cases, presently we are number 2 after US, and in recovered cases also we are number 2. So these are a few statistics, but the impact is very wide. If you look at the impact, what impact it has made since COVID-19 struck world, and particularly India, I'm talking from the Indian point of view presently, the disruption of economic activities, the migration of skilled workforce, that also led to the economic, this disruption of economic activities, drop in industrial output, income loss for self-employed workers, daily wage earners, shopkeepers, etc., people who are depending upon their daily incomes. The financial stress for population at large, we have seen through uh, uh, television channels the kind of stress people were facing. People traveled 1,000 kilometers on feet to reach their villages or hometowns because of the financial stress. They couldn't afford the food, etc. The stress on healthcare system, now it has been stretched to the limit because most of the hospitals and the hospital beds are occupied by the COVID-19 patients. The other diseases and their healthcare has taken a backseat. The consumer spend has went down. The reason being, people were most of the time they were confined to their houses. Number one, there was a lockdown. Number two, and people wanted to save money for using on the household essentials rather than spending on other luxury kind of items. The one of the biggest factor which interests the insurance sector, banking, as well as the industries fall in interest rates. The banks are flush with money. Their the deposits have gone up by a whopping 3.5 lakh crores in this period up to last month. The other impact which we felt was on the print media. The printing and sale of newspapers, magazines were hit very badly. In fact, the prints, the newspaper have started printing, but the readership is down by 30%. And export and imports, they both showed downward trend. But there is a paradoxical statement, I mean, thing here. The India is heavily importing, particularly oil. So lockdown, because the transport activities were badly affected, the Indian oil bill came down heavily, and in fact our reserves have gone up. The foreign exchange reserves have gone up. Now, other industries which were affected very badly were hotel, restaurant, and tourism. Fast moving consumer goods, because the biggest malls were shut, people were not spending money, they were saving money for day-to-day needs. Automobile sector and allied businesses, road, rail, transport, and aviation sector suffered very badly. Entertainment industry, you know, the theaters are closed, the films are not being released. This is a very big industry which adds to the GDP of the country. Construction and allied related businesses, housing sector was also affected very badly because people were not spending money to buy houses. Oil and energy sector, it was affected badly in the sense that the consumption went down. Consumption went down. For any country which is growing, the more we use oil and energy, the more it adds to the GDP, because it leads to the production, it leads to the transportation of goods, and then the people buy it. The mining industry and related businesses were also affected very badly, and the manufacturing sector, of course, it was also affected very badly. Now, if you look at the positively, there were certain businesses which would have been impacted positively. One is life and health insurance, in the sense that there has been awareness which has got created in the minds of public at large. It has not resulted into the numbers at presently, but it will come. I will discuss that issue slightly later. Pharmaceutical industry, because people were falling sick because of the COVID, and now people are investing money in discovery of vaccines. Billions of dollars are being invested, and after that, once the vaccine is available in the market, then this industry will reap the benefits. Sanitization related, you know, after this, I mean, small thing happens at some workplace, the things are sanitized, people are conscious, mask, shield, etc. This kind of industry had suddenly flourished. E-commerce. E-commerce has benefited at the cost of single stores as well as the shopping malls, where physical presence was required to go and shop. But e-commerce, you don't have to go physically, you have to just open a internet connection and place the order. In fact, the e-commerce is back to the pre-COVID levels already. That was up to 31st July. I believe August data is still not there. It must have gone up. IT sector, because most of the companies are reinventing themselves, that in the next slides also I will discuss about that. And because now we have to reinvent the offices, people will be starting working from home. The new kind of challenges will be there. Digitization has taken a very great push forward because of this situation. Online entertainment has gained at the cost of theaters and other entertainment industry. The web-based contents have flooded the market. OTT over-the-top platforms are offering entertainment material. And electronic media, because the print media was not in the picture, so people have to shift to the electronic media for the news and other things. Friends, if you look at the life insurance sector, we were, if I talk about the Life Insurance Corporation of India, we were doing very well up to 15th of March. We were growing in numbers, policies by about 17%, and in premium by about 25-26% in the individual segment. That business was affected. It traditionally, second fortnight of March brings a lot of business, almost 15, 17, 18% business comes in that period. So industry as a whole, I think we lost about 40 lakh of policies which did not come materialize. And our premium, 15,000 crore of new premium was lost. If we talk about the renewal premium collection, since the lockdown happened, people were saving money for buying household goods and other necessities, which was essential. So about 30,000 crore of renewal premium did not materialize across the industry. Settlement of claims also were impacted because people were unable to submit claim papers. Processing was impacted because the offices were closed, and most of the country was closed down for almost 1 month. And after that, once it opened up, at many places we were working with the 5 to 10% of the staff strength. I mean, we must thank the central and state governments which declared insurance as an essential services, so we were able to open our offices. General customer services were also affected because the offices were locked or the staff was not there, people were not willing to come out. So those kind of requests were also affected. Back-end and support functions were also impacted. For any company or a corporation like us, we have to submit our annual accounts in a given time frame. So auditors, we in LIC, we are having 118 auditors which audit our offices, divisional offices and then central office. And the challenge was, and they have to inspect one third of our offices in the country. So how to go to the rural areas, how to travel, all these challenges were there. Of course, we overcome that through the remote auditing of the books. That was a new thing which happened, which never thought we can do it. So we were able to submit the accounts as per the given timelines, because IRD has extended the timelines for submission of accounts, and I believe the other insurers were also able to do that. Now, new challenges will be what we are facing, and we will be facing, insurance as a whole. On one side is increased awareness about insurance, but on the other side is the financial stress. People are saving money for household good or essential spend only. They want to buy insurance, but they are still wary when the lockdown will be opening, it will be lifted, and when the normalcy will be there. But I believe that in the second half of this financial year, the numbers will also start coming. Here I would like to share with the audience that the Life Insurance Corporation of India, we are by 31st August back to the level of premium income which we were having last year. That means we have covered the gap which was there in the month of April and May, when the business went down by almost 32%. So our premium income is what it was on 31st August last year. In the renewal premium also, we are growing by 13%. I mean, this is one of the why it has happened. I will discuss that. I will just share some data that we have collected 87,300 crores of renewal premium in the first 5 months against 77,000 crore of last year. So this has happened through the digital initiatives, which I will discuss. The persistency, which there is a question also, somebody has asked about that persistency. What is persistency? It will be impacted in the short run, but in the long run, the insurance companies will come back to the same level of the persistency which they were enjoying pre-COVID levels. The main reason is people are unable to pay their renewals. I have made an analysis of the data that while the renewal premium is growing up by 13%, the numbers is growing only by 0.4%. That means high value to high ticket size policies premium is coming. The people who are having money, they are paying. But the small ticket size, that means public at large is unable to pay their premiums. They are holding it on, and probably they will be paying after some time, maybe in the second half of this financial year. We were expecting that surrender of policies will increase because of the financial stress. But when I am matching it with the increased awareness, we have found out that the surrenders have actually gone down by 35% in the first 5 months of this financial year, which is a very healthy trend that people want to keep their policies in force. Death claims, yes, it was felt that the death claims may go for a toss, but it is not like that. In LIC, we have received only 911 claims related to COVID, which we have settled. There were 421 claimants, and the total claim paid is 41.95 crores only. Which does not impact us materially when we are settling total claims, including majorities. The amount to outgo is about 2.25 lakh crores every year. So 45 crore or 42 crores does not make much sense. But uninterrupted and investment operations, this was one of the area, because the money, if it is not invested properly and timely, we will lose the yield. That means it will impact our solvency as well as the benefits which are to be paid to the customers. So this is one area which was the new challenge for all the insurance companies. Limited investment avenues, because companies were unable to function. They were under financial stress. New products were not coming. So how to invest and where to invest, the surplus which is getting generated and the maturing assets both. In LIC, up to 31st August, we have generated surplus of 67,000 crores already, and the investment income itself is 102 lakh crores. That means we had 1.670 lakh crore of surplus fund and investment maturing assets which were to be reinvested. Decrease in interest rates, this will lead to the pressure on the solvency, because when we calculate mathematical reserves, actuaries, mathematical reserves are the money which is required to pay all the liabilities. So mathematical reserves, when they are calculated, we take into account the interest rates. If the interest rate discounting factor is at say 5% and the interest rate fall to 4%, that means 1% stress will come on the system. Then there was risk of impairment of investments. I'm happy to report that there has been no default, in particularly in LIC during this period. RBI and IRD came out with the moratorium related decisions, but we have got very few requests for moratorium, and the total amount is not more than 500 crores. Stock market fluctuations were very heavy, particularly in the month of March. The markets went down by 39%, but of course, up to 31st August, they have bounced back by about 32%. But it impacted the investment returns for the life insurance and insurance companies at large. Stress of solvency margin, as I told you, because the renewal premium did not come, 30,000 crore did not come into the system, plus 15,000 crore almost didn't come in the new business. So 45,000 crore of premium which was to come in the system has not come. The cash flow management, in the initial phase, it was a very important task for us. It is still important, but I will discuss how we managed it after the COVID-19 struck. Now, productivity of employees will be a great challenge for all the insurance companies, and I believe all the businesses, because of the fear, the stress, the social distancing norms, travel to workplace is not happening in Mumbai particularly, and other places also. The transport services in full are not available, so people are not able to travel. So we have to look at new avenues how to do it. That I will discuss in the next slides. Continuity of customer services with lesser staff, non-opening of offices in red and containment zones, and fear maintaining social distancing. This is a challenge which insurance companies will be feeling, are feeling, and we are addressing them through the digital means. Support functions and back-end support, which is required. There are many departments who are working in the back-end, that in the absence of full-fledged staffing in the offices, it is suffering. In Mumbai, we are working at 30% of the strength, which is allowed by the state government. So up till last month, 31st August, we were working with 10% staff strength only. Uninterrupted IT support to operational offices, both in terms of hardware as well as software. This is a challenge because the AMC providers are unable to provide the AMC support. The software support sometimes is getting delayed. So this has become a challenge to provide uninterrupted IT support. Cyber security has been a challenge always. It was a concern always, but now since people have started working from home, we have to establish virtual private networks to allow them to work from home. So this will add to the cyber security concerns for the organizations. The most important part is realigning the organization to new normal for business continuity. We don't know what will be the future, but definitely there is going to be a change in the way all the businesses and particularly the insurance companies were working. This I will be discussing in the next slides also. There is another point somewhere. So friends, the opportunities is that we are finding that there is an increased interest in annuities, life and health insurance, even group products. We were thinking that the group products may get hit, but I'm happy to report that LIC group premium is also back to the same level as it was on 31st August 2019. So that means there was an impact in the month of April and May, but we have started receiving the premiums, and up to 31st August, we have collected almost 53,000 crores of premium under group policies also. Annuities, we are already got more than 10,000 crore of premium in this financial year. So this shows that people are looking at post-COVID life also, it can be correlated to the recoveries, which is in India is 78%. So on one side is awareness about the life insurance products, health insurance product in the mediclaim sector, as well as the fixed benefit sector, which is kept by the life insurance companies. Demand for products which was specific to COVID-19, it was there from various quarters. IRD also came out with some products, standard products, which was launched. And then realigning the organization to new normal, as I said, work from home. The companies may be thinking about shift system, not 1, 2, maybe 3, 24/7 offices, digital delivery of services, and business process reengineering. This will be the new normal, the new office setup which will be there in future. Adoption of new technologies to address new challenges. Remote working has already become a norm. Digital solutions all insurance companies are providing. IT enablers are being provided. Artificial intelligence use has increased. Even machine learning, blockchain technology, and deep learning, all these technologies are now being used by the insurance companies, and their use will become more and more prominent in the time to come. Strengthening business continuity plans. That means when we are working in Mumbai and I have to attend to say investment operations, but my person is staying in Kalyan. He is unable to come, my dealer or my fund manager. Now, how we do this, that the investment operations, I'm giving one example, is not suffering. So we have to come out with alternative plans. LIC already was establishing a center at Bangalore, alternative investment operations center. But because of this COVID-19, we have to expedite it, and now we are working remotely also from Bangalore also, so that the business continuity is. Ditto is for other areas also. IT support, we have already diversified. We were already diversified support at different places like Pune, like Chennai, Trivandrum. Our teams are working from there, so that if one center closes down, the help could be provided from the other sector. Innovation will be the key area for success of any insurance company in future. The product, services, the new technologies, new work culture, all these things we have to see for the future, how we are going to address these systems. Already many systems have been put in place, but this will be the new normal in the times to come. And if you look at the another area of opportunities, the different cost structures, the companies are already thinking on the existing models of business. So we will be coming out with the new business model so that the costs are contained. Initial costs, for example, if you are going to start working from home, we have to provide the IT connectivity, we have to provide the hardware, new softwares will be required, but at the ultimately it will be a cost-effective thing for the future. This we are looking at, but the most important factor which I feel is that upskilling, cross-skilling, multi-skilling, and reskilling of the workforce. Earlier system, people were working in many times in silos. Now they cannot work in silos. They will have to be ready to work on any place, any seat, any department, and they may need to have the new skill sets also. So we are addressing that concern also. Now this is one very important statistic. How India is placed was vis-a-vis world in life insurance segment. The life insurance density is rupees 4,125 in India, that is per capita, while worldwide it is 51,150. So we can see that almost 12.5 times we should reach the world level only. The life insurance penetration, which is a percentage of GDP, is 2.74% in India, while in the world it is 6.31%. And the most important part which we should address as life insurers in India is the protection gap, which is 70 to 80%. It is estimated by the IRD. What does it mean is, if somebody requires an insurance of 1 crore, he is covered only for 20 lakhs. So that is the insurance gap which is an opportunity for the life insurance segment to tap in the future. Now, there are certain future actions which the insurers need to take. I will put it in 5 Rs. The first is the resolve. It means there are two things. One is the workforce, the other is the customer. How to resolve the things at presently, the minimum physical meetings, the use of video solutions, work from home, define unambiguous expectations, establish decisions and escalation paths, clear workflows with the well-defined roles and responsibilities, well-defined objectives, key results and KPIs, key performance indicators. Then shift non-critical activities to remote locations, operations, and scale up IT infrastructure with robust cyber security measures so that we are able to resolve the immediate issues which we are facing. And for the customers, we need to encourage customers to use digital self-services and paperless processes. We need to communicate with customers regarding COVID coverage. Many people don't know. We are getting a lot of queries in Life Insurance Corporation also, whether existing products cover the COVID situation or not. In all risk covering products, the COVID coverage is covered. This is, I would like to assure all the audience. The launch of COVID specific products, this is a demand, and particularly the general insurance segment has already launched certain products. In life insurance also, one or two companies have launched a few products. The expeditious settlement of claims. Now, it is the duty of all the insurers to settle all the claims expeditiously, but present situation becomes all the more important that this aspect is kept in the forefront so that the customer gets that kind of faith once again in the system. I'm talking about the system, not the company, that the insurance is there to help them in the hour of need. Prompt redressal of grievances. People will be weary about many things, so they want to have certain things done from the insurance companies. If it is not done in a time which is expected by the customer, it will lead to a grievance. But the companies will have to gear up so that the grievances are addressed immediately. But I will go a step further. They should take steps so that there is no grievance at all. But still, there could be some, but they need to address them at the earliest. Now, the continuous communication with the customers in some form or the other is another area which is required. The customer should have faith in the company, how it is responding to various challenges, and it could be done through the town hall meetings, it could be done through the mailers, it could be done through the paper publicity, advertisements, print, audio, video, visual, or the social media. All can be used for this purpose. The second R is the resilience. How we are able to handle the situations. Now, first issue was managing near-term cash management challenges. How LIC did, I will come in the later slides. The second one was the increasing customer services capacity. How do we do that? This is a future action. It is not a one-time action. It is actually should be a continuous process for the future, so that more and more the digital solutions are offered to the customers, so that the scaling up happens. The stabilization of operations is another area where the resiliency has to be brought in. Stabilizing claim payments management through simplified processes, upgrading chatbots, optimal use of customer care centers, interactive voice response systems, and optimizing costs. These will be the things which will be required by the insurance companies in future. The next is return. Return means returning to the normal. Prepare a plan to scale up the business to normal as the lockdown is lifted. Once the lockdown is lifted, as I said, the employees' productivity will be one area. The other will be the skilling, reskilling, upskilling, cross-skilling. All these things have to be there. Digitization of the processes, particularly underwriting, scaling of claim settlement and customer services, reducing customer touch points, because I don't know when the total normalcy will come. People will be happy to have a contactless services delivery rather than coming to the offices and asking for the delivery. The focus on investments and cash management, that will continue. The altering the product mix to focus on less capital intensive products. As I said, there is a pressure on the solvency margins. So the products which are offering guarantees and products which are less capital intensive, between them, the latter will be actually should be pushed by the insurance company to ease out the pressure on the uh, solvency margins. Engaging with regulator to temporarily reduce or suspend the solvency requirements, but I don't think the regulator will agree to this thing, because the regulator is more concerned about the capacity of any life insurance company to pay the claims as and when they arise. So they will not agree to this proposal. This is my hunch. And shift investment portfolios to safer investments. Although I have said that LIC, we have got very few requests for moratorium, and our investment income, I'm happy to report, is up by 19.8% this in the first 5 months, which is a very, very healthy trend. But if you look at the market as a, or the scenario as a whole, there could be some stress signal somewhere. So the insurance companies need to look into that their investments are safe, and probably they may have to shift the portfolios if necessary. The reimagination is that how we look at the future, how we are going to do the business in future. For example, innovate the product portfolio, sell more capital efficient products. It was in the previous slide also. Modernizing distribution channels, end-to-end online kind of recruitment, training, selection, interview, and more use of videos and FAQs. I would share here that in LIC we are using a lot of video solutions presently, and in the first 5 months we have already throughout the India in various offices about 5,000 meetings have been held through the video, which we are using very extensively. Introduction of digital solutions for standard requests as well as new requests arising because of COVID, and use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning solutions for various operations. In January, we have introduced the chatbot, and in the first 5 months, we have got 75 lakh queries over that, 75 lakhs. In the month of August itself, it was close to 17 lakh queries, and on this month, on 4th of this month, we have introduced that in Hindi also. It was earlier in English. Now the chatbot is available in Hindi also, and we are in the process of escalating it to other Indian languages in future also, so that the person can talk in their mother tongue. It is interactive. It could be, the question can be verbal, or it could be through a request, typing request also, and it replies to both the questions. The next is the reform. The fifth R is the reform. The insurance companies need to invest in the customer and distribution channels, customized distribution channels, use of artificial intelligence for driving sales and bringing efficiencies. It will lead to business analytics, management of leads. It could be data mining. That these could be used for artificial intelligence is used for looking at the target segments. Investing in employees, as I said, upskilling, cross-skilling, multi-skilling, and reskilling. This has to be a continuous process now. The leveraging cost-effective distribution channels. The majority of the business still comes from two channels: the bank assurance as well as the tied agency. In case of LIC, tied agency is there, and it will remain there. It's a very premium channel for us, and we will be focusing on it in future also. But at the same time, we will be looking at other channels also. For example, bank assurance and direct marketing channels, they will also gain currency. In fact, our direct marketing channel is doing very well. The total online business has already gone up by 29% in terms of numbers, and in terms of premium, it is already almost 39%. We need to support and promote premium agency channel, whatever it is. In case of LIC, we are having agencies is a tied channel, and within that, we have different levels of agents called branch manager, club member, or the divisional manager, zonal manager, chairman, MDRT, COT, TOT, and then we are having the still higher clubs, corporate club, and the Galaxy Club. So we need to support these channels because their average productivity is very high. It is if you look at the total average productivity of the distribution channel, these premium channels are having almost sometime 10 to 12x, which is a very, very high productivity channel. Then creating an agile organization which is adaptable to sudden disruptions. Nobody thought 6 months back that this kind of disruption can happen because of COVID-19. All of us were caught unawares. But now, since we are wiser with this experience, so we need to think that what kind of organization we need to create, what kind of solutions we need to provide, what kind of technology we should use, what kind of skill sets our employees should have, so that if any other disruption happen, suddenly we are able to cope with that. And the scenario planning for future risks and initiating risk mitigation initiatives. The companies need to now plan for the future risks. They have to scenario plan what kind of risk could be there and what will be the mitigation activities which we can undertake. Now friends, now I would come to the last few slides. How LIC responded in this COVID-19 situation. When it happened in the month of March, we were taken unaware, but immediately we created crisis management task force, which was at the corporate office, 8 zonal offices and 113 divisional offices. They were tasked with looking at the local level, the crisis which are emerging, because the crisis was not uniform throughout the country. It was specific in one divisional office. It was differing from branch to branch also. So they were empowered to take decision at their level. We ensured that business continuity is there. As I said, we activated our, for investment operation, our Bangalore office was activated. We provided work from home facilities. In fact, we procured more than 12,000 licenses for our employees to work from home. And presently, close to 5,000 people are working from home on alternative weeks or days. Then work from home was introduced. In the record time, our IT department made necessary arrangements. Sir, I mean, I would like to know, inform the House that we are having close to 6,700 offices across the country. So making all these arrangements were not a small task for our teams, but hats off to them that they rose to the occasion and it was done. Grace period for payment of premiums were extended up to June, and regulator also allowed it. Then payment of agents commission, policy claims, annuities and pension, etc. were ensured. This was our first task along with the cash management. One was that we need to get all the money which is coming as interest or other payments, premium payments. The second one was paying the essential things, which was policy claims, annuity, pensions and commission to agent, which was formed the largest chunk of our operations. Then renewal premium collections and claim settlements were ensured. We ensured that people can submit the claim papers through emails also, scanned copies. Earlier we were only having the physical policy bonds and discharge forms, but this was done up to the last month. And the renewal premium collections we ensured because our branches were not functioning to the full strength. Most of the places it was 5 to 10% staff in the initial days. Now at many places it is up to 50%, but the normal is between 30 to 50%. But we have alternative channels of collection of premium. The agents, empowered agents, which the number is about 35,000, who can collect premium from the customers, and then it is paid to the LIC accounts. They were activated. The empowered development officers, retired employees were also empowered. So I'm happy to report that we went whole hog for the digital collections also. This year, in numbers, 7.44 crores transactions have happened digitally on various platforms. The amount collected is 29,500 crores, and it is up by amount is up by 93% over previous year. And the number is up by 54% over previous year. Then there is non-digital channels also, like banks and others, which are they accounted for 5.17 crore of transactions. So this was a huge number which we shifted out of our offices to the alternative modes, and these alternative modes collected close to 58,000 crore of renewal premium till date. I mean, up to 31st August. So these were the initiatives which we took. The uninterrupted investment operations were ensured, We established connections when people were unable to come. They worked from the home also, and it has given us good results also. As I said that LIC the income the investment income is growing by 19.8%, and I'm happy to report also we were very active in the stock markets also. We have already booked more than 13,000 crores of profits from the equity operations, and we are actually net investors in this period by about 28,000 crore in spite of that. The next one, the offices functions but with depleted staff. We people all sanitation things were ensured that it is the offices are sanitized frequently. People were made, our employees were made aware about taking precautionary measures. Then after initial disruption, premium points, as I said, Life Plus points, etc., were activated, and I had given the figures how it has helped us in growing at 30%, 13% in renewal premium. We reached out to the customers through various media, social media, other channels for availing digital services, and this is the growth itself is a testimony to that kind of success of that initiative. Then submission of claim papers, as I said, was allowed up through the emails, and you know, we are a tied agency channel is the biggest channel for us. It contributes to up to 90% of our business. There are 1.21 million agents working with us, and we decided to mitigate the financial stress which they were facing, and about 6.5 lakh agents were paid up to 50,000 rupees advance to take care of their financial things. We believe that this will come back to us in the form of new business when they have already started working, but it will come in the second half of this financial year. For the digital response for our new business, there is an end-to-end module where the agent or development officer who are empowered can register, underwrite, and complete their proposals. It has been extended to development officers, club member agents, and agents which are having more than 10 years of standing. We are looking at whether we can extend it further to other agents also, but we have come out with an agent assisted module also, which is being rolled out in pilot divisions. The same kind of benefits will be available here also. We have also introduced telemedical consultations with the doctors for the medical examination of our policy proposals for the new business. And Aadhaar based KYC and e-signatures, we are working over that. We have already got a notification that we can have Aadhaar based KYC. It has been notified by Government of India in the last month. So friends, these were the initiatives which LIC has taken to reach out to the customers, to reach out to the employees, to reach out to the agents at large. And our philosophy is that my new normal is to continually get used to new normal. The new normal is going to be the fact for the future. We need to reinvent ourselves, and we are reinventing. So I can only assure the audience that LIC has it was discussed by Vivek Gupta ji that we have public has large faith in us. Yes, we are thankful to the public at large, but it puts added responsibility on our shoulders also to continually reinvent ourselves for the service of our customers, and we are committed to that. I can only assure that the LIC will be one step ahead of others in committing ourselves to the customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajkumar ji. I think very extensive presentation. I think you have covered much more than we had hoped for. But there are some questions coming in.
Yes.
So, Subodh-ji, would you like to start with the questions? I can also ask my questions. You can ask some of the questions.
Sir, you can first take, and then time permitting, I will take the questions.
Sir, LIC's does LIC? This question is your renewals. So, do you think that by the end of the year the renewals will come back to normal? or what will you do? Like, do you? I mean, so an ordinary businessman, when he's not able to sell, he starts giving discounts.
Right.
In our case, I understand that is not a possibility. So how do you help people who want to pay premiums but are not able to pay premiums?
Sir, first of all, the statistic I have shared, but I will repeat that till 12th of September, 17.29 crore of transactions of renewals have happened across various channels as against 16.62 crores of last year. So there is a growth of 4.03%. But if I look at the numbers, amount, 87,327 crores of renewal premium has already come. It is against 77,176 crore of previous year. So 13.15% is the growth. If you look at last year's business performance, the life insurance sector as a whole was under stress. We lost all the initiative in the last fortnight of March, and the actual growth was about 6 to 7% in the premium. So looking at that, 13% growth is a very healthy growth. It has happened because we opened up the alternate channels, digital channels. We, as a industry as a whole, the grace period was extended up to June. So the insurance company, I can talk about Life Insurance Corporation of India. I believe that we are already at back to the normal, and from here it could be take off. It will be much better. I also discussed that small ticket size premium has still to come. There is a lot of premium of small ticket size. It is the premium which has come from the high net worth individuals. But the transactions also indicate that it is not that all people have not been able to pay the premium. We are getting very robust collection every day. We monitor it every day. We have an online platform. I can monitor it up to the branch level. What is happening, how much collection they have done. So I believe that it's not a challenge. We will be back to normal, industry as a whole, very shortly.
Sir, you raised the point about newspapers, so I thought I must, because I'm from a newspaper background, I must inform you, because I run a chain of Hindi newspapers in Eastern India, the largest Hindi newspaper in this part.
Okay, sir.
But you will be happy to know that due to COVID, we have not even lost 4% of our circulation.
That's very great, sir.
Unlike Bombay and Delhi,
yes,
because the hawker, the entire trade was with us, and even on cycle, the Amphan cycle, when it hit us, we were having normal. So the newspapers are doing their job.
That's very good.
The IPO of LIC is one of the most awaited things, and we were hoping that you would touch upon that in your PPT. But one of the question is, when can we expect it, and any other detail that you could that you are legally allowed to share about the IPO?
See, this IPO part is looked after by Department of Investment and Public Asset Management of Finance Ministry. LIC, whatever the ministry will tell us, we will definitely do. At presently, what is our in the public domain is they have already appointed 2 transaction analysts. Now they are in the process of what we know in the engagement of an actuarial firm and purchase of software. That is being done by the DIPAM. Once they are finalizing, they will tell us what is to be done internally. Whatever we know, we are ready for that. In fact, there was something about the valuation of our properties. We are already started that. We know that it will be done. Actually, it is done every 3 years. But as per IRD regulation, it is done for the commercial properties. But our main estate is being used by us only. For example, I'm sitting in Yogakshema. Its book value, in one of the presentation, actually it was in another meeting webinar. I was there in the morning. Now, this plot was purchased in 1956 or somewhere. So its book value may be a few lakh rupees only. But if you look at it, may be 2,000 crore. So we are valuing it on commercial basis, and whatever transaction advisor will advise us, we will do that. We are waiting for their communication.
So can we say March or next year?
Sir, it's very difficult to say what will happen, but as per the Ministry of Finance and as per the statement of our Honorable Finance Minister, it should happen before March, what is the intention of the government. But it will have to take into account many other factors, like there was a written down question also about the embedded value also, which takes actually a lot of time, because the asset share for each and every policy has to be calculated. we are having close to 50 crore policies for which the asset share has to be calculated individually. This is a very long run process, but we are determined to whatever government instructs us, we will be definitely trying to do that within that time frame.
One of the questions on the chat has come, sir. I do not understand. It's a technical question. Will LIC approach regulator for relaxation of solvency margin? And what is the ratio between guaranteed and non-guaranteed products? Sir,
Okay.
if you don't want to, you cannot. You don't have to.
No. I can answer, sir. I have already actually answered about the solvency margin approaching the regulator. The regulator, as I said, regulator may not allow this thing. In my presentation, it was there because the regulator is more concerned about the policyholder. The solvency margin is a margin so that there is always a possibility that the insurer will be able to pay all the claims which will be coming. So that is not a challenge. At presently, the solvency margin is 150%. LIC solvency margin as on 31st March 2020, in spite of all this bad situation when the share markets tumbled like anything, the premium did not, 45,000 crore premium did not come, it is still 155%. So this is a healthy trend. I think there was a second part to this guaranteed and non-guaranteed products. Guaranteed products are those products where the sum assured is guaranteed and the benefits like bonuses. These are called guaranteed products. Non-guaranteed products are those products where there is no guarantee from the organization. For example, a ULIP kind of product where the unit value, whatever is the NAV, that will be paid. So there is nothing on the insurer. Only part will be for solvency margin in ULIP products. Only part is the death claim. That benefit for that solvency margin has to be provided.
So they want to know the ratio between guaranteed and non-guaranteed.
No, it depends from insurer to insurer, sir.
Okay.
There is no specific ratio.
Another question that has come on the chat is, what is the rate of return in percentage for LIC policy now onwards?
LIC policy, it is a rate of return. It cannot be calculated policy wise. It is calculated as a whole.
Okay. Sir, there are some issues that some of our members have. I will not put it here, but if you could share an email where they could send these queries, so your office can probably deal with them.
Sure. No issues.
The next question that we have is LIC considering acquiring any other insurance companies, we keep hearing that some of them are not performing well, or some of them mergers or takeovers. Is LIC ever considering acquiring any other insurance company or anything?
Sir, let me share some more information. When you are going to purchase another company or acquire another company, the money has to come from the shareholders fund. The public policyholders fund cannot be used for that. And presently the fund, the shareholder fund is only 100 crore rupees. That is by Government of India. The IPO precisely, and maybe we may have to build up the share capital for future, and there is when enough share capital is there. I don't know the future, but presently there is no such proposal.
Understood. Some questions have come that the banks have been disclosing their NPA. What is the situation of the NPA at LIC? I mean, is it a good situation? Is it a bad?
No, sir. After COVID, as I told you that our this is growing up by 18.95% of our investment income. There has not been any default after the COVID has come. Yes, there were some requests for the moratorium as allowed by the IRDA as well as the RBI. But their total amount involved is not more than 500 crore. So at a total portfolio of 32 lakh crore plus 500 crore is just peanuts, sir.
Your agents, sir, are the number of agents increased, sir, with digital? So digital, one of the questions or concerns that people had is that with all this digital and direct interaction between the policyholder and LIC, the role of the agents is getting eliminated. So are you witnessing a reduction in the number of agents, or are you seeing a reduction in their role?
Sir, I don't see any reduction in the role. You see, there is in India, I mean, the faith about an insurance company gets generated through intermediary also. People still believe on the agent. So agents and agency channel, for different companies, there could be different kind of business models. For us, this channel has stood good for us for the last 64 years. It has paid us dividend from 5 crore capital. We have, I mean, asset share of 32 lakh plus crore. It has come through this channel only. So we cannot ignore this channel. It will be remaining a channel. In my presentation, I have said that we need to invest in other channels also. But the primacy of this channel cannot be ignored, and we will not be ignoring it. It has given us dividends. The second question, part of the question was the number. This year, our number has gone up by 67,000 already in the first 5 months. So 1.2 million is already there, plus 67,000 we have already added, sir.
Excellent. Sir, one last question before I hand it over to Subodhji. Sir, when we see abroad or when we try and compare the options that are available abroad, one term comes up that is called as jumbo insurance. And I know this because, sir, I'm an ex-member of parliament, and I'm, Sharma ji, who was the earlier MD, because that time even whole life was not, all policies were compulsorily terminated at the age of 75. I think now till 100 years you can have the policy.
Sir, it was already there, sir. The table number 1 LIC was whole life, the first product.
So the general perception of the people was that, but now I think that is now in most policies. But sir, jumbo insurance is a term that is used frequently by HNIs or abroad. And that jumbo insurance kind of insurance, they say it's not available. So I am not aware of this. Are you aware of this? Could you throw some light?
No, I am not aware of this. I'm hearing this term for the first time, but I understand is the big ticket size or big sum assured size policies. The jumbo, I can relate to that only. But I can assure you that this kind of products are available. There are products which anybody can have any amount of insurance, but insurance is not a speculative business. It has to be related to the earning capacity of an individual. So if the individual is able to fund that policy, fund that premium, he can get or she can get any amount of insurance under different plans. But they have to give the proof of income. And basically we ask for the income tax returns. If somebody want to pay 1 crore of premium, so they should show that this premium is genuine, and the any anti-money laundering guidelines are applicable to insurance companies also.
So if the money is coming through a gift or something, like in case of minors or children?
No, that can be considered based upon the source of funding. Why it is coming, how it is coming, the person who is paying, how it is paying, about his or her returns, everything. That the reinsurers will, you see, sir, the one thing about life insurance business and in the general insurance business is also there. The whole of the risk is not taken by the insurance company. There is a reinsurance arrangements. So up to say, if it is 100 crore, I mean, for example, sum assured policy, the insurance company may be taking a risk up to 50 lakh only. 99.5 crore will be passed on to the reinsurer. So that arrangement is also there.
Sir, I think it was a very, very engaging. Subodhji, if you do not have any questions, do you have any questions, Subodhji?
Some of the questions are there quickly. I will take very quickly. Thank you, President, and thank you, Rajkumarji, for an excellent, wonderful presentation. Post-COVID challenges and opportunities. You squarely covered what are the challenges and what are the opportunities. I see more as an opportunity and less than the challenges, because organization like LIC has all the capability, infrastructure, resources to overcome the challenges. And India being such a resilient country, over time it has shown that it can overcome the challenges. And the biggest opportunities that lies with the LIC is the data that you have shown that the per capita consumption is very minimal. That is only 2.74%
right.
as compared to 6.31% or in the across the globe.
Right.
And then the production gap which is 70-80%. So people like me who has taken only 20 lakhs where my capacity is 1 crore, probably 80 lakhs gap is there. So only thing is required the confidence building which is there in the LIC today. Even though many private sector has come up, but still we believe in LIC. And there my question is start that term insurance is the need of the hour. The premium rate of the LIC
True.
as compared to private sector is very high. Whereas you are getting the reinsurance. Lastly, you talked about the reinsurance. You are getting the reinsurance at a reasonable price. When you are for the public, a government concern, you should come out because the way you are reaching, LIC is reaching to the massive. जहाँ ना पहुँचे रवि, वहाँ पहुँचे LIC. So LIC is reaching such a places where private sector cannot reach. So your premium, at least, there can be some premium that below this, the premium rate will be very low. तो वो उसके लिए आपका क्या है जहाँ पर रेट कम है और टर्म इंश्योरेंस everybody can go for the term insurance with reasonable premium.
So, you have raised a very valid question, but this question is based upon a very old information. LIC in the previous year has revised its rates for the term insurance, and there are two products, Jeevan Amar, which is offline product, and we are having Tech Term, which is online product, which can be bought online. The rates are very, very comparable, and it is almost at par or below the many insurance companies. As I was talking about the reinsurer, in the month of December last, the reinsurers gave an ultimatum to all the insurance companies that the term rates are unsustainable. They are not able to book profits because the claims are high and they are getting lesser premium. And after that, many private companies have raised their premiums up to 30%. LIC has not taken a decision. You see, sir, the product has to be priced prudently. We cannot price a product just to gain business. We should have the capacity to pay the customer also. So the reinsurers terminated the agreements with most of the insurance companies, but our agreement continues at the same rate as it was earlier. 30% when the rates were raised, the most of the companies' insurance premiums have become higher than us, maybe a little more than whatever it was there. So our rates are very competitive, sir, presently.
My question, sir, probably being a Calcutta, the question more relates to Calcutta. You, during your deliberation, you talked that IT you took to the, for getting benefit of the, to get the automation and work from home, Pune, Chennai, and Trivandrum. Probably you talked about Trivandrum.
We have that centers there, sir, from where we provide support, software support.
Yeah, that it in Kolkata also. And then investment activity you took to Bangalore. Probably Calcutta has very reasonable manpower available, at reasonable cost. Why did it not come to your mind that it could have been Kolkata also?
You see, it could be any place. If we go to Kolkata, the Bangalorean can raise the same question. But presently the situation is Bangalore and Hyderabad are the IT hubs. So once we are establishing IT infrastructure, we need to look at what kind of support we can get. So that is one reason. The second reason is the seismic zone. As per the business continuity plan and disaster recovery systems, our system should be placed, the secondary system should be placed in a different seismic zone. And Bangalore being a different seismic zone and lesser seismic activity is a preferred location. We don't have anything if Kolkata is there and it falls in a different seismic zone. Yes, some operation in future can be shifted there also. That's not an issue. That's not an issue, sir.
Our only request will be in future, please keep Kolkata in mind. I'm sure that President will subscribe to my view or all Calcuttans.
Sir, Kolkata is our intellectual capital of the country, sir. Political capital is Delhi, the financial capital is Mumbai, the IT capital is Bangalore, but Calcutta is our intellectual capital, sir. How we can ignore Calcutta, sir?
And sir, just to sir inform you, you have several landmark buildings. LIC owns certain landmark building in the city.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir.
Structure.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Questions
President, over. Questions are over.
Subhaji, can I request you to give a formal vote of thanks, please?
Thank you, President. Thank you, President, for giving me this opportunity to thank our learned speaker, Rajkumarji, Managing Director of LIC. It was really very engaging and insightful discussion. that is on COVID challenges post-COVID. I mean, I was just wondering that the insurance should not have been a negative impact, rather it should have been positive impact on the insurance, because people have become more aware. But I was astonished to know that LIC lost in the first 1 month 45,000 crore rupees of the premium collection, that is premium and renewal premium as well, but in March. But then it's good that in August you have bounced back, and pre-COVID the same month you have returned. So the challenges were there, and challenges, as we know, with all the industry, that productivity, the cyber security, yeah. Because suddenly we found that everything has to be work from home, and it is automation, so that challenges were there. But then opportunity also, you rightly said, realigning of the new normal. Yes, that is new normal means adaptability. So that's great. I mean, I liked it that the new normal is used to be new normal. So every day you have to be new normal, and I will follow from today that new normal has to be daily new normal. It cannot be what you adopted yesterday can be today. So business continuity plan. So and the adoption of the technology. So, and that is the reason that I was looking at the data across the globe. The most benefited sector has been the technology company across the globe.
Right.
If you look at
Absolutely.
from the equity market perspective, they have been fantastically doing. I mean, probably we all are depending on them. Even smaller and medium firms also are looking at that. And the other thing I liked in your statement, investing in employee, upskilling, reskilling, multi-skilling, cross-skilling. So without skilling, there is no life. Without skilling, there is no employee. So that employee need to understand that they want to be redundant. Even if it is employee, now they are going public. So maybe their culture may be private, they may be public. I mean, sovereign guarantee may not be there for the employee in the days to come. So they have to skill them, reskill them, then only they can survive. So resolve is there. So sir, it was a very enriching, and we also thank you, the LIC, for the sponsorship that we have got. With these words, I express my heartfelt thanks to the members of our chamber, friends, business associates, and friends of the media for their august presence. I propose a hearty vote of thanks and request all of you to carry this with acclamation. We can't have the acclamation because they are not linked to the net. But thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
There is one caller who, sir, there is one of our committee members. They have a question they want to ask you live, sir, if you allow me, sir.
You can. No issue, problem, sir.
Munmun ji, Goyal ji ko panel mein le aiye, please. Munmun ji. Munmun ji.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Goyal ji ko panel pe le aiye. That was my mistake, sir. I missed out actually.
No issues. No issues. No problems.
But thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Really, really very engaging. I am, very, very enlightened today. You know, a lot of things we do assume and we go, but your talk was wonderful, sir. I hope we get an opportunity in the future to meet face to face.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Sir,
Goyal ji sir on the panel, sir.
Goyal ji? गोयल जी, आपका सवाल था, आप पूछ पा रहे हैं गोयल जी? Maybe we lost him. Sir, just last, can you share some email ID or some contact, because our members are having some issues with LIC, so whom should they get in touch with?
Issues regarding what, sir? If there is some issues regarding servicing some complaints or grievances, you are having a different email ID. I will ask my PA to provide that. If somebody want to have some knowledge from me, then it's very simple, mdrk@licindia.com.
Very good.
MDRK.
Okay.
MD is my designation, RK is my initials. Simple to remember.
Simple. So I would request all the participants, whatever questions, please send it to the chamber and we shall coordinate with the MDs.
Yes, definitely.
Needful. Thank you so much, sir. And we hope to keep troubling you please do come to the chamber often to address some members on various issues.
Okay.
Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar. Thank you, sir. Thank you.